Well, hello, hello. Here we are back with a very special dynamic guest today that is going to really bring us some special treats regarding how we can function better. And guess what? It's our sleeping guru, Dr. Funke Afolabi-Brown. And she is one of my guest coaches in my program, and she's here to tell us all about what she's been up to and a really cool thing about a book that she made. So, welcome. Tell us, what have you been up to?
Oh, thank you so much. It's so good to be back. I love having conversations with you. Well, I can't even imagine. There's been so much change. I started my practice, my own practice. So this is in addition to my consulting coaching business. I started a clinical practice, sleep practice. And I also, have had the opportunity to speak on many platforms and workshops and things like that. And I wrote a book. So it's been a little bit busy, but good busy.
Awesome. And I really love the title of your book. It is so catchy, but I think it really describes like how we all can sometimes feel. Would you tell us about it a
Mm.
little bit?
Yes. So the title is Beyond Tired, a sleep physician's guide to solving your child's sleep problems for good. And I came up with that title because this is what I hear parents say. Parents, moms, professionals, everybody is not just tired, they're beyond tired. When there's another way of describing how exhausted everybody is. And so I really wanted people to feel heard. And so that was why I came up with that. And, when I was deciding on what to write about, because I am a sleep physician who has expertise both in sleep in children as well as in adults. And so I could have written a book for everybody, but then I wanted to focus on one group first. And so I decided, you know what, there's a lot of books on sleep in babies, sleep training, but not really a book that's really focused on understanding how sleep works in children as they get older across the lifespan and looking at it from the lens of the parents. So that was how I decided that I was just going to focus on the kids for now. But I couldn't help it. I did include a chapter for sleeping parents, especially moms. So the beautiful thing is, even though this really talks about sleeping kids, even adults can get so much from it. And I'm just really excited to be able to share it with the world.
Yeah, and again, like most of us don't realize, like you said, that sleep is crucial for our health. Like
Mm,
we think
mm,
like, oh, well, there's endless things to do. Like I'll sleep tomorrow or I'll sleep the next
mm,
week, right? And we don't realize
mm,
that when we keep stealing from our own sleep, like we pay for it way later and the body does keep the
mm,
score, and then we get
mm,
to this state, like you're saying, beyond tired. And so, yes, while
mm,
there always is talk about getting the kid like on their routine sleep, like when they're a baby and stuff, and then
mm,
later on, as they become kids, you're just hopeful they're in bed by 8, by 9, by 10,
mm,
but when you don't realize that habits continue through
mm,
teenagers and then adults, and it can really impact our quality of life, we
mm,
get to this beyond tired state that you're talking about. And I was talking with you earlier, and I was really intrigued that you said that you had a chapter about neurodiversity and how that can affect sleep differently or a little bit in a different way. Do you mind telling us a little bit about that? Because I really think people with ADHD need to come and read this, whether it's for their kids or for themselves, so that they
mm,
can understand themselves and reach out to you if they need want a consultation with you, or if they want to
mm.
get you to come and speak to their schools about it and stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I was very intentional about including that chapter because, yes, a lot of the sleep issues that we see seems to present in a worse way in people with neurodiverse conditions. And with focus really on ADHD and, kids with autism or learning differences. And so I really wanted us to really pay attention to say, where is the sleep issue coming from? Because studies have shown that almost, depending on what literature you're looking at, almost 80% of people that have neurodiverse conditions also have sleep problems. That's a huge number. And many times it can range from a difficulty with shutting off, shutting down your mind and falling asleep. It may have to do with staying asleep. It may be that you're waking up earlier or restless sleep. So we delve into the different causes, ranging from, are there medical issues that could be going on? Is there pain? Is there reflux? Is there restless leg syndrome? And then we talk a lot more about that mind racing, that difficult with winding down, in suboptimal sleep hygiene. And finally, we talk about like comorbid, like anxiety, depression, which might actually be playing a big role when it comes to sleep. And then from there, I now break it down into here's what you need to do. If you have X, this is why you need to go to Y. These are the reasons why you may need to speak with your child's doctor or your doctor. And then also these are basic things you can try, right? Not everything ends up being at the level where you need to see a sleep specialist. And I think that was another reason why I wrote this book. I would love to be able to help as many people as possible, So start off, read this book, do what it says. If you notice you're still having struggles or whatever, absolutely happy to help walk you through all of that. But I'm just really excited because this is a chapter that was really, really, I was very detailed because I've worked with so many. I've worked in as a guest coach in your coaching program, and I've heard the kind of questions, the kind of struggles a lot of people with ADHD have. And so I really wanted to make sure I covered all of that in the book as well.
Yeah, a lot of people like underestimate like sleep. Like they underestimate that, yes, some people decide to be on medications for ADHD, but the medications are only going to work as well as your quality of
Mm,
sleep. And even if you're not on medications and if you are using exercise as your medication, again,
mm,
it's going to be affected by the quality of sleep. And so it keeps
mm,
going back to sleep. And most people, if you ask them when you survey them, they're not sleeping, like you said, like for many reasons, like you just listed. Maybe they're not falling asleep because they can't shut their mind off, or if they're
mm,
waking up multiple times because they're thinking of different things that they haven't completed yet. Or they
mm,
could be have other things, like maybe they're a little bit overweight and have sleep apnea too. And so
mm,
it's important, and again, like the things that are basic, sometimes we don't realize that we can change
mm.
around. So they need to really go and find your book and tell us where can they find your book.
Yeah, so it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon Beyond Tired. That's the title. So if you put that right in Amazon, you could get it right away. You can also go to my website, Restful Sleep MD. So it's also on there, but Amazon's where you'll definitely find a copy to buy for yourself, for people in your world as well. And what you said makes so much sense. Like at the end of the day, sometimes we're trying to put a band-aid over the sleep issues. So we might take sleep medication. We might say, oh, you know what, when I exercise, it's going to make me tired. We might take supplements or whatever, but you really want to make sure that you deal with the root cause. So, what is the root cause? What are you trying to hide from? What are you trying to avoid? What are the habits around your sleep? Because then that way you're not just putting a band-aid on it, you're actually identifying it. So, I think that's just really important.
Yeah. And we can't forget that there's a reason that for thousands of years, sleep has
Mm,
always been one of those things that you need in order to continue to
mm,
thrive and function.
mm,
And again, not just survive, but thrive. If you really want to
mm,
thrive, you really do need to shine a light in those habits of sleep, because so much will happen. Like you might start to lose weight because all of a sudden you're sleeping better. You might start to
yeah.
think better because all of a sudden you're sleeping
Mhm,
better. You might be able to, just have that energy so you're not
mm,
beyond tired, right? So,
yeah.
yeah, this is such an amazing title, and you just got to make sure that you do that. Anything else you would like to tell us about your future adventures that you're having? I know you're in all kinds of amazing conferences and teaching everybody everything, but what's new for you, or what should we be looking forward to from your standpoint?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. I'm really my goal over the next, I would say, year now is this is a resource that I want to get into as many hands as possible. I think I have a lot of social media presence and I have blogs and YouTube channel, all of that, but this book just summarizes pretty much everything I'm trying to get out there. So the more hands I could get it into, so my push would be getting it, like you said, into schools and communities and organizations and doctors' offices because they're constantly telling their patients to sleep, but sometimes really helping to get the information in the right way to them, I think is sometimes a challenge. So really just pushing to get the word out will be my goal over the next year.
Awesome. Well, great. You heard it here. Beyond tired, you gotta, now you have an antidote to that. So go get the book and get those habits going. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.